Sorry about that. All right, now we in there. You know what I'm saying? We had some technical difficulties right there, real quick, but we back at it. What's going on, everybody? Like I said before, this is another episode of Rickle Me Pick, and I am your host, NR, and I'm excited for y'all to be here. This is episode 4, and we got an eventful one for y'all this week. This is we're going over Claw and Hoarder special Ricktims Morty. This is episode 4, season 4. And when I say there was a lot going on in this episode, a lot of moving pieces, uh, not too many different places, but just a lot going on. You know what I mean? This is an A and B side. You know what I mean? Type of episode. For those that don't know what I'm talking about with the A and B side, this is it's a 2-story episode in one. So we got an A story and we got a B story, and when it all comes down to the end, A and B story, you know what I'm saying? They go hand in hand. So like I said, you know what I mean? We got a great episode this week. We're still counting down. We're still coming close to the countdown for season 5. Like I said, we're gonna next week, I believe, we're gonna go ahead and mash in 2 of the episodes because, like I said, season 4 has 10 episodes. You know, when Rickle Me Pick started, we were 9 seasons or 9 weeks until the season release. So what we're gonna do is probably next week we're gonna mesh 2 episodes together. Haven't decided yet, but stay tuned for that. But without further ado, man, let's go ahead and jump into this episode of Claw and Order Special Ricktims Morty. So for those that don't know, this is the episode where Morty gets a dragon. Yeah, that's right. The good old Bartholomew. Morty begged and begged and begged, and long story short, he gets a dragon. You know what I'm saying? So, we start off the episode. Chachi and Morty, they're running. We don't know why they're running, but we know they're running, and things are getting hectic. You see Chachi get his head blown out. So as they're going on, Morty's talking about Chachi died. He gave his life for this cube, this purple cube. You know what I mean? That Rick is just, as soon as he finds out it's purple, he's just over it. And Morty's, just agitating and nitpicking and poking at the fact that Rick owes him a dragon. For going on this mission, Rick owed Morty wanted a dragon, and Rick was like, yeah. So he gasses him out right here because Morty won't leave him alone about the dragon. Not realizing, you're in an enclosed environment, so you gas yourself out, end up crashing your vehicle, waking up out of a coma, just to be reminded, hey, you still owe Morty a dragon. So that takes us into, Morty getting the damn dragon. So as we see, we got, Morty, Summer, Rick. We got the wizard, who, by the way, Rick, when he meets him later on in the episode, calls him Dandruff the Great. I knocked the old Gandalf the Grey. But as you can see, we got the Summer, Rick, Morty, the wizard, and Bartholomew. They do the old ink bond, soul bond contract. And this is basically what this is this episode made the wizard into a pimp. That's what this is. And it becomes more noticeable as the episode goes on. But basically, you got the pimp giving away his prostitute, which is the dragon, to Morty, and he signs him to the contract. All right. So, while all this is going on, like I said, there's a B side. There's another story in the story, which is Jerry and the cat. Jerry and the talking cat, which we'll come back to later on. So Morty has his dragon. The dragon's over it. He doesn't want to be there. He wants to just sleep to mankind's extinct. Morty just, he is not as exciting as he hoped it was going to be. So what does Rick do best? Once he finds out that Morty's bored with the dragon, he goes to get rid of the dragon. All right. So he goes down there to exterminate this dragon. They have a little tango. The dragon breathes fire on him. Rick throws a bomb down, the dragon's throat. They go toe to toe. They come to a stalemate. just to realize, hey, they have a mountain of treasure that they're standing on, and the amount of items inside of this treasure are just you know endless. And we're gonna get into like what those items are later on, but you just got an endless list of items, countless useless items that this dragon is hoarding inside of this layer that Rick just finds so fascinating that they have, they create a connection for. While all this is going on, the B side is still continuing. The talking cat at this point in time has influenced Jerry to go to Florida. So they're in Florida playing volleyball, having a good time. Somebody ends up stepping on some cat shit. The cat blames it on Jerry. They run him off the beach. All right. Back to the A side. Rick and the dragon, you know what I'm saying? They're getting closer and closer. As you can see here, Morty's, contacting the dragon. He's contacting Rick. Neither one of them want to go back to Morty, as you can see. And it ends up leading to Rick and the dragon soul bond. Now, in this episode, if you haven't watched it, I would suggest you watch it. The representation of soul bonding is basically just sex. That's what it's showing. So you had the prostitute sell, or you had the pimp sell the prostitute to Morty, ends up getting stolen by Rick. And now Rick and the dragon have a soul bond, which is a representation of sex. So that's where we're at right now. As you can see, Morty's pissed the hell off, rips up the contract, which brings out the pimp, the wizard. At this time, if you haven't noticed already, you notice, oh, this wizard's a pimp. Why? Because the first thing that happens is he comes in and says no refunds. Morty's like, I don't want no refund. Your dragon broke his contract. Then the pimp starts whipping the dragon. He got this magic whip. He just starts whipping the shit out of Bartholomew with. Tell him he's a bad dragon. He's a slut dragon. He's a dirty slut. All this, pimp talk as he's whipping this dragon's ass. So for punishment, he takes the dragon back to Dragon. Dragon is the magic, dimension that they go through the portal for, and in Dragon, magic exists. Science is irrelevant. So everything that Rick does in this dimension is completely irrelevant. Has no, he can't do nothing. Even though he's the smartest man in like every world and dimension, right now he's pointless because he's in a world full of magic, and everybody knows Rick hates magic. So that's the irony in that. Being that Rick can't do anything, he can't stop Bartholomew from going through punishment. So what do? They hang him. As you can see in the background, you have the Dragonarchy. These are the old dragons, as you can see, chained up. But these are the wizard slaves, basically. More prostitutes for the pimp, as you will. And so the dragon is hanging here, and they're basically putting them to death. That's the sentence. But it's going to take 72 years or 78 years, I'm sorry, for a dragon to be hung. So for the next 78 years, because they're soul bonded, Rick is going to feel the effects of this dragon being slowly choked to death. In order to break this bond or to break the dragon out so they can break the bond, Rick ends up using the magic, the stone monster that beat up Rick originally. He ends up capturing it, absorbing that magic to make a magic gun, which he uses to give everybody special powers. He gives Summer special powers. He turns her into this arrow shooting enchantress. Morty decides just to keep his book because it's full of magic and everything. So at this point in time, Summer and Rick are having the time of their life. They're using magic in any way they want, and they're continuing to just bash Morty because he continues to use this weak ass magic. They get all the way to this. One of my favorite parts. They get all the way to Bartholomew, right? And because they've been out here, like Summer's like shooting arrows like 40 at a time, Rick's turning people into, bowling pins and knocking them down. So at this time, Morty's like, y'all need to take this serious. They're playing around. So here you see Summer laying on the ground, about to shoot an arrow with her feet. Rick's telling her to shoot it at her butthole, just for her to end up shooting him in the eye, fucking everything up. So Rick, because he could feel the effects, he's screaming, you know what I'm saying? Like, my eyes in pain. Ends up bringing the wizard out. Wizard comes out and he's, uses his magic to get rid of everything that Rick created. As you can see here, he uses the 12 feet, starts kicking the shit out of Rick, with 12 feet. You see the ogres in the back, or the orcs in the back laughing. Rick's at this point just getting his ass kicked. So Summer and Morty, they go ahead and continue with the mission of releasing Bartholomew. They get him up out of there. They fly him up out of there, and they're gone. So, like I said, while all this is going on, we got the B-side. Jerry's already been banished from the beach by this point. You know what I mean? Because the cat blamed him for shitting on the ground. So by this point, he's already been banished from the beach. So the cat's there solo. You got a talking cat. Nobody knows. Everybody's out here having fun, getting high, doing whatever. Cat ends up getting banished. You know what I'm saying? So now you got just two losers sitting here by themselves with nothing going on. All right. Back to the A side. So here we are. And for those that don't know, don't be offended. All right. This is just what they're called. But as you can see here, the only one named here is the one in the middle, Deborah. But these are the slut dragons. They live in an underground. They live in an underground cave where they hide from the wizard, so they don't be slut shamed. And yeah, this is exactly who. This is the slut dragons. And this fellow friend right here is Michael, another slut dragon, and his woolly mammoth, who we'll get into later. But so they end up coming to this slut cave, meeting these slut dragons, and having this slut committee. And then out comes the elder slut dragon, the Shadow Jacker. Yes, the Shadow Jacker. All right. So Shadow Jacker comes out. As you can see, he got the staff, and everybody's listening. He's basically telling them, like, hey, we weren't able to be strong enough before, but now that we got, 3 fresh or 4 fresh new sluts, you know what I'm saying? They can finally create they can have a slut orgy and finally create what was called the slut phoenix to destroy the wizard. Can't make this shit up, bro. Only a genius like fucking Royland Harmon and the director and producing and the writing team can come up with geniusness like this, man. So here we are. They about to get into this massive soul bond orgy, you know what I'm saying, to create this fucking slut phoenix. Boom, there we have it. As you can see, you got, the Shadow Jacker, you got Deborah, you got the other the other 3 slut dragons. You got Morty, you got Summer, you got Rick, and they created this slut phoenix. So they go up against the Dragonarchy. They tear him to shreds. As you can see, the wizard right there, he's about to get smashed up himself. Boom, pulverized, you know what I'm saying, into smithereens. And they've released all the dragons. Everybody's free. They go through the portal, and then Barthelmines are coming with them. So by this time, they're just kind of over the whole dragon experience. So they're just like, Rick makes up an excuse like, hey, Jerry's been, blowing up my phone, something about a cat, got to pick him up at the airport. He dips. Summer's just like, fuck this, I'm out. Morty's just like, you know what? Hey, but I just need some space, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like he's creating this space from the dragon. The dragons, you know what I'm saying? He's pulling. It's pretty pathetic, you know what I mean? But they ended up going there both ways. So it takes us back to the B side. Like I said, the A and the B side, 2 different stories, but at the end, they all come back together. Here's where it comes back together. So I told you, when they came through the portal, Rick's like, hey, Jerry's been blowing me up, something about a cat, airport, got to go pick him up. Scoops up Jerry, and the talking cat. It flies him out to the middle of nowhere. Pulls over, lets him out, tells the cat that he got to do something with the ship, just to end up locking up the cat and scanning him to see where the fuck he came from, what's going on, and that's the main story. What the fuck is going on with this cat? And most importantly, after they scanned him and they found out where he came from, it just made Jerry and Rick sick to their stomach. Rick, threatened the cat to leave, put a gun to his head, wanted to shoot himself. What the hell did they see? We don't know. But Rick ends up, erasing Jerry's mind. And end the episode, we head to the credits, and we see, the sled dragon prostitute on the side of the road. She's getting offered some money by, or by a random pedestrian. Turns him down. Links up with the cat. They got, a special bond. So they end up linking up together. End the episode. Hey, man, like I said, great episode. It really is one of my favorite episodes. But like I said, man, there's a main story and a B story. So let's break down the main story a little bit. All right. So, like I said, long story short, Morty wants a dragon. Morty gets a dragon. Rick steals the dragon. Rick fucks the dragon. Everybody has an orgy, and they kill the pimp. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line here. That's pretty much what I got from the A side. All right. B side. Jerry finds a talking cat. Cat influences Jerry to go to Florida. Finds out this cat has a crazy past. Get your memory wiped. B side. High points of the episode, soul bonding, aka fucking. Yeah, man, the soul bonding had to probably be the high point of the episode. Because that's basically what this entire episode was about. Morty wanted a dragon, prostitute. He was pimped out. They soul bonded and ends up getting stolen by Rick, who soul bonds the dragon just for them to have an orgy and all of them soul bond together. And everybody goes their merry way except the pimp. Yeah, man. This is the typical, Captain Save a whole story, if you will. But nah, man, it was a good one, man. Very vulgar, very graphic. I know when I was reading the comments and stuff to like with this story, man, surprisingly, for Rick and Morty fans, surprisingly, man, like this episode got a lot of heat. A lot of people didn't like this episode. And I guess, it was a little vulgar and shit, but it was one of my favorite episodes, man. So I liked it. I'm a fan of this one. Biggest question of the episode, though, bro. What the fuck did Jerry and Rick see? Where did this cat come from? We know it's a talking cat. We got that. But where the fuck did this cat come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did it come from? And what did Rick and Jerry see? Will we ever find out what they saw? I don't know, because, Harmon and Royland, they don't like to go back to the past. They like to leave, once they give you something, that's it. You know what I mean? So will we get to see or find out later on the road, it did link up with Bartholomew. Maybe they'll have, a reoccurrence later on, you know what I mean, in season 5. We don't know. There's still a lot of episodes left. You know what I mean? There's still a whole another season after season 5. So hopefully we'll get to see what the fuck Jerry and Rick saw. But until then, who knows, man? Who knows? Comparisons and metaphors in this episode were out the ass. There was so many comparisons, so many metaphors, so many nods. It was just crazy, man. From beginning to end, it was a lot. So let's go ahead and get into that, man, because like I said, like I actually liked a lot of these nods, a lot of these comparisons in this episode. You know what I'm saying? They were actually some good ones. So we'll start off with the title of the episode. All right. Title of the episode: Claw Hoarder Special Ricktims Morty. This is actually, obviously nod to Law and Order Special Victims Unit, which actually happens to be about sex crimes. So the fact that this episode, you know what I mean, has to do a lot about, sexual, gestures and things like of that nature, pimps and prostitutes and stuff like that. I find it very fitting that the episode was called Claw and Hoarder Special Ricktims Morty. Oh man, now I'm looking at it, man. I ain't even got my thing pulled in. Wait a minute, dog. Oh, wait a minute now. Can't have a proper episode of your stuff. You know what I'm saying? Without your stuff showing. Look at that. You know what I mean? Can't have a proper episode without your stuff showing. Come on now. It's the disrespect. All right, all right. So all right. So yeah. So that's that one, right? Another one that we had was in the beginning of the episode with the purple cube. That's a nod to Marvel and the Tesseract. You know what I mean? If you look at it, it's very resemblant of the Tesseract. And for those who are going to come at me, it's like, no, that's a reach. Okay, maybe so. But if it is not a reach, if it is a reach, then how come they throw another Marvel nod when Morty asked for the dragon and Rick was like, how about I just get you some Wolverine claws instead? So two nods to Marvel, I think so. So that's why I'm saying that it is a nod to the Tesseract early in the episode. Another good one. I think I got these. I think I got this image right here. So the book that Morty. Let's see if I still have the image with Morty and the book. Let's see here. Da 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 da. I thought I had one with Morty in the book. I guess I don't. Yeah, I guess I don't. But the book that Morty has, right? The magic book that Morty has in this episode is very, very resemblant. If you go back and look at the book, let's see, do I have it? No, I don't have it. But it is very resemblant to the book from the Never Ending Story, which very magical, make believe, big ass dragon. So definitely a nod to the Never Ending Story in that book, man. Damn, I wish I thought I had the book, but I didn't. Let's see what else we had. Oh, the dragon, right? As you're in the beginning of the episode with the dragon and he's laying on top of the fortune when Rick and him first come into encounter with each other. That's a nod to the Hobbit series, which the Lord of the Rings, what is it? The Tolkien, the whole Tolkien series. He hit him with the dandruff. Dandruff? Yeah. Dandruff the Grey, which was a nod to Gandalf the Grey. And now here's another one to the dragon Smog from The Hobbit, who resided on top of like a mountain of gold. You know what I mean? So that was that. Let's see the image there. Boom. So that's the dragon Smog right there. You know what I mean? And very resemblant to, saying the image that we had, of Bartholomew sitting on top of, a mountain of gold. So that was a good one right there. So shouts out, to the whole Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, that whole world. Shouts out to that. Big fan. Been big fan for years of the Hobbit. Read it about 3 times. Dragonheart. One of my Dragonheart fans. Yes, sir. There was definitely a lot of familiarizations in this movie to Dragonheart. Biggest one, every time the dragon gets hurt, Rick can feel it. Yeah, that was the same concept in Dragonheart. Every time the dragon got hurt, the human was able to feel it. You know what I mean? They shared that same emotion. So, you know what I mean? Shouts out to Dragonheart, all the Dragonheart fans. Let's see what's up. Oh, for those that don't know, Rick and Morty has a connection with Dungeons and Dragons. They have a comic book series with Dungeons and Dragons. They even got a Dungeons and Dragon version of Rick and Morty. Morty throws a couple nods in this episode to D&D. So, that was definitely, a nice one to see. I am yet to read that series. I'm working on I'm on, a couple other series of the Rick and Morty sagas, but I am yet to get on the D&D series, and I cannot wait to. This is the next one I'm getting into because I heard that one is straight fire. So definitely gonna get into that one, man. Let's see. Okay, so let's get into the talking cat. The metaphors and comparisons of the talking cat. This is actually a nod, and it should have been an easy one for all my science fiction fans. This is actually a nod to the old school uh, Cat from Outer Space. Cat from Outer Space came out in 1978, I believe. And that is actually the same thing if we go back to the earlier image where the wizard had the 12 legs. I believe, my theory, um, as well as, rickfandom.com, Rick and Morty fandom.com. They believe the same thing as well, that the 12 legs nod actually comes also from, the cat from outer space, because it is an alien cat who ends up having 12 legs. You know what I'm saying? So there's a chance that that can be, some type of, uh, um, resemblance, to the movie and the 12 legs portion where Rick's getting his ass with, by 12 legs by the wizard. Um, let's see, what else do we got? Oh, so this has got to be the most interesting one, right? And, for all my, underage viewers, be prepared. So as we see Shadowjacker, I'm actually going to pull this one up because I want y'all to see exactly what the hell I'm talking about. All right. So as you can see here, let me pull it up. Boom, 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 bam. All right, there we go. As you can see here, we got Shadowjacker, right? And he has his staff right here. Uh, this staff is an actual representation from a design dragon dildo from a company called Bad Dragon. And these are actual products that Rick and Morty designed in this show, or took as resemblance in this show, that came from this website. And as you can see, like this company is called Bad Dragon. They make these dragon-like, creature-like sex toys, and they have them for sale for, I guess, anybody that's out there trying to fuck a dragon. So, yeah, so that's what the staff that Shadowjacker has. That's actually, exactly what that was. And then when you watch the episode, in that scene, Rick even mentions, he was like, he gets grossed out because he's like, oh, I just realized what your staff was. You know what I mean? So it is fucking just something just to turn your head to. So I want to go back to Bartholomews Cave now. All right. So in Bartholomew's Cave, which is, comes from the title, The Claw and Hoarder, he's hoarding just like this mountain of just useless treasures, and it's everything from just high C ecto coolers from, Ghostbusters to a Dan Harmon Funko Pop. You got the small soldier spin pops. He has a Duckman lunchbox. He has an Action Comics #1, which happens to be the first Superman appearance inside of a comic book. He has the most common one. He has the self-entitled album Future by Future, signed in Molly and Percocets. He has a picture. He has a statue of the Venus de Milo. You know what I mean? So he just has like this endless mountain of just useless treasures. And because he has all these things, him and Rick end up, creating a relationship over this useless shit, and end up soul bonding over it. So that's what, once I looked into, what he was actually hoarding, it was just like I said, just dumb shit. Like, why you got a fucking Funko Pop of Dan Harmon inside of your shit? Like, what what is the purpose of that? You know what I mean? So, hey, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So this one was a tough one, man. Like, I didn't know. I had a couple favorites in this one, man. I definitely had a couple favorites in this one, and it came down to two. And before I announce who won, um, I will say that the runner-up for this episode had to be the Wizard. The Wizard, I just liked him. He was like a pimp. You know what I mean? He was out there whipping shit. He didn't take no shit. He didn't really give a fuck. He was just about his paper. You know what I mean? But because of like just the mentality and just the funniness and just the disgustingness of it, my favorite character of the episode had to go to Michael, the woolly mammoth fucker. As you can see here, my favorite quote. I'm gonna play the little scene for y'all, but in case it does get copywritten, taken down, you can see the little quote. So let me go ahead and play the scene. Oh, let me leave that up for y'all. Play the scene.
Yeah, we like it down here because we can fuck woolly mammoths. Get out!
Get the fuck out of here,
Shut
Michael.
up, Michael. You're the only one that fucks that thing. Get the fuck out of here.
So as you can see, man, like that's the favorite character of the episode, Michael, the woolly mammoth fucker. Um, gotta love him, man. Like, he's not even part of him. I think he ends up responding to that. He was like, "Yeah, well, at least I don't pack shit, or we don't play with shit." You know what I mean? So, um, but he ends up helping him later on create the Soul Phoenix. So they still ended up needing Michael. When it comes, like I said, when it comes to the slut dragons, when they first introduced himself, like he said, "We are the slut dragons. We like to fuck, suck, and eat butt." That's their motto. The only ones that out of all five of the slut dragons, the only three were named: Deborah, Shadowjacker, and then, like I said, my favorite, Michael, the mammoth, the woolly mammoth fucker. So that was a tough one to decide between Michael and the Wizard. But once it came down to it, man, and I laid everything out on the line, it definitely had to be Michael. So shouts out to Michael for winning this week's episode of who's your favorite character.
You sons of bitches!
All right, man. So as we come close to the end now, like I said, we ain't gonna really go over locations, as the only location in this was Dragon. Doesn't really give much information aside that's where the slut dragons live. But we did have some deaths in this episode, man. We did lose a few lives in this episode, and it's always a sad day every time we do.
Oh, baby, I know you didn't do me wrong. Oh, I know you done bad. Oh, my Junior. I nursed him with these, Lord.
So without further ado, let's get into this tribute to the ones we lost.
Oh! Damn you, Roger! Damn it! Damn you!
Hey, and since we're on the topic of clips, real quick, man, I meant to mention this earlier when I mentioned Michael. This is probably the only reason I picked Michael as my favorite character, because this is who he reminds me of.
I sucked your dick.
Ew.
And so that's probably the only damn reason why I picked Michael, man, because that's who the hell he reminded me of when I seen him, man. So, you know, we paid tribute to Chachi, the orcs, the Dragonarchy, and the wizard. You know, they all lost their lives in this episode. They did what they could, but you know, some of them deserved it, some of them didn't. You know, we'll never know why. You know, or well, we do know why, but you know, Chachi's is probably the only one that gave his life with an honorable death. So, prayers to you, Chachi. All right, man. So let's come down to the ranking. All right, last week's episode was ranked at number 9. Episode 1, number 10. Episode 2, number 2. Episode 3 was number 9. So we have come to episode 4. And the ranking for episode 4 is...
Mine just goes blank.
For God's sake, just give me the damn number!
3. This is number 3 on my top 10 rankings. Yes, sir. Claw and Order, Special Ricktims Morty, top 3. One of my favorite episodes of the season, hands down. A lot of good work in this episode, man. Like I said, we went over it, but lots of great work, lots of great contributions, man. You know, there was a lot of scenes in this, like just like previous, and next week we're really going to get into it because there's a major portion of it. But just a lot of scenes with no dialogue. And I really like, as an art fan and stuff like that, I really love seeing those scenes with no dialogue because, it's just, it shows, it gives a lot of nods and a lot of credit to the artists. You know what I mean? To the artists, the directors and all that, Justin Roiland, Dan Harmon, they get a lot of credit. The cast, who do the voice, they get a lot of credit. But like I say every week, man, the storyboard artists, the directors, the art directors, they don't really ever get a lot of credit, man. And they be doing, especially like in an episode like this, they did a crazy, crazy good job. So shouts out to them. And like I said, next week we're gonna put a lot of effort into shooting out the storyboard artists because there's a huge segment of that episode with no dialogue. So, but on this episode, like I said, number 3, top 3, you know what I mean? The number 1 spot still out there, you know what I'm saying? The number 10 spot's already taken, but hey, man, it's out there. It's, saying that's what it is. So, boom, number 3. Next week's episode, we got Never Rick and Morty. That's right. Next week's episode, Never Ricking Morty. All right? It's a good one. It's a good one. I'm telling you, it's a good one. You're not going to want to miss next week's episode. All right. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. Like I said, there's a huge portion of the episode with no dialogue. So, it's going to be, a lot of, in depth of, of the storyboard and stuff like that, and the storytelling that it tells. But new thing I want to do before we get off the show, like I said, each episode, I want to shout them out because I keep forgetting to do it. But shouts out to the art director on this episode, James McDermott, the director, Anthony Chun. Man, I had a whole list of everybody I wanted to shout out for this episode, man. That, they probably never get credit for doing it. Oh, here we go. Boom. Anthony Chun, Wesley Archer, you know what I mean? The 2 directors for it. It was produced by Keith Crawford, Ali Green, Richard Grieve, Steve Levy, Jeff Loveness. He came out. He's actually the one in the end of the Rick and Morty of this episode who's trying to pimp out Bartholomew. That's actually Jeff Loveness, co-producer. So shouts out to Jeff Loveness, Ryan Elder with music, Lee Harding with film, Ruthie Lambert with casting. Like I said, the art director, James McDermott, Joshua Brish, Michael Britt with sound, Ryan Cohen with visual effects. There's so many people, man, who don't get credit, man, that should get credit because they be making these episodes like, fucking phenomenal. So shouts out to all the little people. Shouts out to all the big people. Shouts out to everybody that came and listened. Shouts out to everybody that follows, that views, that subscribes. Continue doing it. We're only going to get better And oh yeah, also before I go, this week we got issue number 42 of Rick and Morty. As you can see, got the old school cover. Shouts out to my man right there. Let's see. Can I get it on the bottom? Boom, right there, Williams. You see him? Right there on the bottom. Jarrett Williams. Hey man. So he makes a lot of these Rick and Morty comics, but his big thing right now is working on the Rick and Morty saga of Worlds Apart. Rick and Morty Worlds Apart. Hey man, dude's a great artist, and I just right before when I was working on this show today, he actually hit me up and hopefully, what I'm saying, before next week's show comes out, I got a special surprise from y'all. But make sure y'all go follow Jarrett Williams, man, at Jarrett Williams, JARRETT Williams on Instagram, man. Like, great artist. He's become one of my favorite comic book artists as of recent. Great work. What I'm saying? Puts out major product for Omnipress. So once again, like I said, man, shouts out to Jarrett Williams. Shouts out to all the artists out there doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? Just making it happen. You know what I'm saying? For people like me, so I can enjoy watching and giving my feedback on things like Rick and Morty and the simple things, man. So it's been a fun episode. I enjoyed this episode a lot. I enjoyed going over this episode a lot. I hope y'all enjoyed it too. Like I said, leave the comments, leave the feedback, share, let me know what you think. And I'm telling you, man, like come next week, we got a good one. Never Rick and Morty. We're coming close to the end, man. This is episode 4. I don't know if we're gonna do it next week or not, but one of these weeks we're gonna cram 2 episodes in, but we only got 5 more weeks. 5 more weeks until season 5. So we're getting close to the end, man, and I can't wait. I got a special guest who I'm gonna bring in for the last episode before season 5. He's a big gamer, big Twitch guy, OG Big Daddy. We're gonna bring him on the show before we hit season 5, man. But hey, man, out there to everybody that watched, out there to everybody that viewed today, I appreciate it. Much love. Keep on sharing. Keep on, posting. And, we just going to keep on doing this thing, what I'm saying? So to all my outer worlders, to all my aliens, to all my space cadets, my space invaders, my, outer worlders or my people from not this world who live on this world. You know what I mean? Like, hey, shouts out to y'all. Thank you for coming. And this has been another episode of Rickle Me Pick. I'll see y'all next week, man. Peace.